nerds shouldn't be divided. They should be united. The biggest slight was Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl. This one's up there. You want to talk about slides? Look, I blocked that whole movie out of my consciousness. It does not exist for me.
I don't mind her as Babs. The problem is the way they wrote her into that movie. It's the way that they made, instead of her being Gordon's daughter, they made her Alfred's niece. And then just the weirdness behind it. I think Alicia Silverstone is a good enough actress. She could have been fine as Babs. Yeah. The problem, and the same thing with George Clooney. George Clooney would have made an amazing Batman with a better script.
And no bat nipples. Come on.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, and the Bat American Express we didn't need that. Hi, I'm YungPhil, co-creator, producer, and co-host of the Distance Nerding podcast and Time for Tacos Media. You can find us all at all the social media places at Distance Nerding and distancenerding.com, and you're watching and listening to Two Geeks Talking.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, aka FrayGirl, creator, writer, talent of Distance Nerding and FrayGirl on YouTube. You can find me at Distance Nerding, FrayGirl on YouTube, and HDU or Shadoo on YouTube. You're watching and listening to Two Geeks Talking or Three Geeks Talking.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Two Geeks Talking is an entertainment industry interview show where we interview the creative people from the comic, film, TV, movie, and video game industries. And of course, I'm your host, Kurt Sasso. We're joined today by not one, but two other talented nerds/geeks in the sphere. They are creators, producers, co-hosts, probably more nerd credit than I'm giving them currently right here today, because I was recently on their show, Distance Nerding, which is an amazing YouTube channel, great live stream if you ever get a chance to go on there as well too. And they have more combined geek knowledge than even I do. So this is going to be a wonderful conversation because we're diving behind the curtain of Distance Nerding. And of course, our two guests here today, Phil and Jennifer. How are you both doing today?
I'm doing great.
Hello.
I had such a blast on the show with Phil and, of course, a co-host, a rare appearance of a co-host during that live stream, which was James, I believe.
Right.
Okay, good. I got that right. and I wanted to reciprocate. I wanted to get them on the show. I wanted to have you talk about your side of the of this amazing sphere of geekdom and nerddom. But my first question to both of you is, for those that don't know anything about yourselves as creative people, tell us who you are and what you're bringing to Two Geeks Talking today.
Go ahead, Phil.
Okay, well, I'm YungPhil. Again, persona that was created for this show, but I am I used to be a producer, a podcast producer on a previous show. And myself and James, who you were just talking about a second ago, we kind of ended up branching off and creating our own show. We're just a bunch of just kind of nerdy guys. And again, we brought in Jen and we brought in Graveyard later. But we're just a bunch of nerdy people that know a bunch of nerdy stuff. We are decent entertainment journalists in the sense that we do a lot of interviews and we I would say decent. I wouldn't say we were great, but we're good enough. And yeah, it's just we've been doing this for about 5 years. After we created Distance Nerding, the whole idea is to create a sphere where people can nerd out and love the things that they enjoy in a safe space, in a place where you're not judged for the things that you enjoy.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, is it my turn now? Okay. So I'm a Jenny come lately to Distance Nerding, you could say. But I've been a nerd since, gosh, I think I was 11 the first time I bought a comic book. So I come to it early. I don't know what I'm talking about now. Anyway, I came to Distance Nerding later. Met them through another podcast and kind of just stuck to their face like an octopus, and now they can't get rid of me.
She's a regular face hugger.
Yeah, I am, but like in a good way. Like I hug for good, not evil. And yeah, I don't do the chest thing. Although there are eggs currently in all of them right now.
From Creepy Baby.
And creepy. Oh, creepy baby. We love you, creepy baby. So so that's it. I have my own channel that I neglect on a regular basis. One of our co-hosts, Shadu, he is my son and also has his own channel, and he's been putting up our game streams on his channel that have to do with Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm sure we'll get into that at some point. But yeah, that's kind of who I am. I worked at San Diego Comic-Con for a few years.
Nice.
So I know some creators. I may or may not have told people at San Diego Comic-Con that I was pregnant before I told my parents. But, once a nerd, always a nerd here.
Yeah, it's all about caring. Sharing is caring, something like that.
Exactly.
I think that's what I enjoy about the show, and looking at your interviews and looking at your live streams here. The mission of positivity in a nerd space, I think, is really great, and you're advocating for all fandoms. I think it's needed more than ever when it comes to our spaces in general, because there's always the toxic side of things, but I'm glad you're pushing the positive side of things too. It's just amazing for everyone, for that matter. What was that first moment where you realized this corner of the internet really needs this type of positivity?
Oh my God. It's from the beginning, man. The whole thing is, when you are in the nerd spaces, you kind of see how toxic people can be, especially with like some of the bigger franchises. Star Wars being like the big one, Lord of the Rings kind of creeping in. I've been seeing a lot of toxic Trek lately, and it's been bothering me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, it's just
yeah. Toxic
yeah.
Trek. I can't believe that. That is so against what Trek is. But
Trek
anyway,
is,
go
right?
ahead.
And that's why it bothers me so much. Like, the big thing with what we wanted to do was, we wanted to combat that. Our whole thing was, okay, there's silver linings in everything, whether you like a property or not, whether you feel like something is canon or is not canon, all that whole thing. Find the good in whether there are bad. I don't 100% love everything that's created, but I do understand that this is the creative process. Find the things that are good in all these things. Not everything has to have a negative spin. You don't have to do the whole, not my Star Wars, not my Star Trek, all that kind of stuff. It's unnecessary, and it helps nothing.
Mm-hmm.
The only time, the one time in history that has ever had a good outcome was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And I think all of us agreed that ugly Sonic with his teeth was weird, and we were better off for it because we got a way better Sonic out of it. And 4 movies now.
Ben Schwartz, obviously. Ben Schwartz.
I love Ben Schwartz.
But Jim Carrey also carries it.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Jim Carrey carries just about anything he's in.
A franchise
he really
is good when the actor decides, I'm going to retire. No, I'm going to go back and make another one of these Sonic movies. Oh, you know what? I was supposed to retire after the second movie. I'm making a 4th one. Like, I mean, that's how good the franchise is. That's how much fun he's having playing Dr. Robotnik.
Definitely.
Well, and also, I mean, Anthony Hopkins, he's done that several times. We got to do that too. They're that level. Jim Carrey, Anthony Hopkins. Here we go.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford. Although maybe Harrison should just.
He's getting to the point where he probably should.
Yeah. I loved him in Shrinking, though.
Yeah.
My favorite thing he's ever done is Shrinking.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. Because he was so good in that. If you guys have not seen the last season of it, go watch it right now. Well, I mean, after this, go watch it. Don't stop watching this. Go watch this and then go. But no, I think that's it. I've always been a positive nerd. I don't care about, it's not exactly like it is in the comics. Okay, well, you know how many times they've rebooted your favorite character? Probably a lot. Let's face it. Everything's Elseworlds until it's not Elseworlds, and they'll tell us when it's not Elseworlds. So I'm going to enjoy the ride as long as I can. I got my heart broken on Wheel of Time, and I loved it. And then they canceled it. And now this freaking Rings of Power thing is still getting that look. I understand J.R.R. Tolkien's estate and all that, and they're scary. But you know what? Maybe Wheel of Time needs another look-see. Maybe. Just saying.
The biggest slight that's ever been against Jen was canceling Wheel of Time. She has been so upset since that happened.
Well, no, the biggest slight was Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl. This one's up there. But you want to talk about slides? Look, I blocked that whole movie out of my consciousness. It does not exist for me.
I don't mind her as Babs. The problem is the way they wrote her into that movie. It's the way that they made, instead of her being Gordon's daughter, they made her Alfred's niece. And then just the weirdness behind it. I think Alicia Silverstone is a good enough actress. She could have been fine as Babs. Yeah. The problem, and the same thing with George Clooney. George Clooney would have made an amazing Batman with a better script.
And no bat nipples. Come on.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, and the Bat American Express we didn't need that.
They would find him. See, that's the thing. You can't have that because it's traceable, and then they can find the Batcave. Then they know who you are. Right. That was poor, very poor writing. Yeah,
it's Joker and the Penny all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's really amazing how deep you can go down the rabbit holes, no matter what geekdom you're part of or from here. But we all have our nerd resumes, and you two both have an extensive nerd resume when it comes to that. You know, if you had to hand in your nerd resume now in 2026 as a first-time host, what are your top 3 fandoms or geek obsessions that would be on this resume that you could just simply hand in and say, this is what makes me want to be part of distance nerding?
Jen, go.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I guess I can go. Well, I mean, I have to say DC. Wonder Woman is she's my boo. She's my ride or die. I love Wonder Woman. Also, I would say I'm really pretty good at the older stuff, like Firefly, love it. Whedonverse, I can pretty much spout off just about anything on the Whedonverse. I'm a huge like Wheel of Time, Lord of the Rings. So the fantasy aspect is there, but really my niche, the thing that you get is getting that comic lore, that knowledge, comic knowledge, because if I don't know it, I know exactly what issue it's in and I know exactly how to find it. So I think that's it. I mean, I have 15,000 comics, so you'd think I would know a thing or two with the comics. So I would say that comics heavy, light fantasy, throw pop culture at me and I'm probably going to be able to do it.
So I don't have to go to Wikipedia anymore. I can just go to Genepedia?
Yes.
Yeah, Genepedia.
Genepedia is a thing.
I do like to say thanks for coming to my Jen talk, not my TED talk. So, you know.
I love it.
Yeah, for me, it gets really hard because I know so much stuff, and it's kind of like it gets really hard to say what are my top 3. I'm a massive Star Wars nerd. I'm a massive Hasbro nerd. I love all things Hasbro, G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man's on that level. I mean, I had a whole lore talk about Skeletor with somebody at the last con we were at, and they were like, their mind was blowing in real time. You know, like just like I didn't know that much about Skeletor. Like, oh my God, Skeletor is amazing if you really get into his backstory. And you know, and again, I'm pulling from the cartoon, I'm pulling from the comics, I'm pulling from different versions of the cartoon. You know, just different things that we've gotten from that. Like I'm really good at being able to do cross media lore, right? So looking at different versions of different characters and what that's added to the lore for each character. Like Jen, I'm a big comic book, like kind of like encyclopedia kind of thing. Like if I don't know it, Jen knows it. If Jen doesn't know it, I know it. There's a good chance that between the two of us, we know everything comic books. That is a loaded thing to say, but I mean, for the most part, we can usually figure it out if there's even something that both of us don't know. And we know how to look for it. Then that's kind of the big thing. You know, everything about us as far as like the nerd knowledge is authentic. And that I think that is one of the big things is we're not faking anything that we do. We're not going like, oh yeah, you know, let me go look this up and try to feign off that I'm a nerd to impress the nerd community. Like we're the kind of people that, I mean, literally within this interview, me and Jen have nerded out on several different franchises off the top of our heads, and just talking about like background things and things that you didn't know, and like, comparing. We literally compared Alicia Silverstone's Batgirl to the comic book Batgirl and why. I mean, like these are the kind of things that we go into, and I think that's what suits us well to be hosts in the podcast space. And the other thing is, again, when it comes to podcasting, we do live podcasting, and the reason is because we want to interact with our audience. We want people to ask us questions and say, hey, I don't know much about this. And me and Jen and James and Graveyard's another massive encyclopedia, add horror into his thing. But like we know all these different things, and like we want to be that resource, but we also want to be a place where, again, like I mentioned earlier, a place where people can nerd out about things and not feel like they have to guard themselves over the things they enjoy.
And another thing about that is that we have also we ask them, like, if it's something that we're like, I'm not really sure about that. We have people that will come in and they'll be like, oh, it was this. Oh, it was this. And it's really cool to have that. So it really is more of a sense of community that we may not know everything, or heck, I could have spaced on it, or Phil could have spaced on it. And then we'll have like Eric Ruiz will come in with a Green Lantern thing, or, like we have people that come in and just tell us about all of it. Or Matt Aguilar. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
me and Matt Aguilar from comicbook.com, we nerd out on the Green Lantern on a regular basis. Green Lantern one was one of my gateway drugs. Between Green Lantern and Batman, those are like my gateway drugs. Like those are the guys that really got me into comics and like were some of my favorite characters. And then I got introduced to Deadpool in '97, and the game was over.
Yeah, that's true.
I was gonna say, like, well, Lantern's show is coming up. I'm sure they're probably gonna squeeze out a Deadpool 4 or whatever, possibly in the future as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Marvel still isn't done yet. DC has a lot to catch up on their live action side of things. I really want to see a Batman Beyond film. Like, you have to do it in the next few years, or else Michael Keaton may pass away. Like, hurry up.
Yeah,
right.
With that, like, my whole thing is we need an established Bruce Wayne in that universe, mainly because, okay, here's the tone that this Batman has, so that way we can get a dynamic with Terry McGinnis.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I want a Batman Beyond movie as well. I loved Batman Beyond, so I love Terry.
I want Son of the Bat, which is what we're getting right off the bat. But I want, pun not intended there. But I want Son of the Bat because I feel like, okay, one, we do need a lot more Robin, but I mean, Damian Wayne was one of those characters that I started off hating, and now is absolutely one of my favorite Robins. Okay. One of Dick Grayson's still my all-time favorite, but I mean.
How many times have they tried to kill Nightwing off and the fans won't have it? Like, it's him and Donna Troy. It's like, if you kill either one of them, the fans will riot.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. You kill off Dick Grayson, you're going to piss off a lot of people.
Yeah.
Dick Grayson is the ideal. He is the best version of Batman. Fight me on that.
I will contact every single person I know at DC, and I will tell them exactly what I think about that if they ever kill off Nightwing. I love him. Burt Ward was like one of the first people I had crushes on because I watched Batman after school, and I was like, oh my God, he's so cool. So yeah, so don't you even with me. Don't get on the list.
Funny, Eartha Kitt is one of my early crushes too, so both from the same show.
The production value you guys have from the live streams to your interviews at conventions as well too, you have a complete package. What I'm trying to say, it's great to have a team around that there, and you've mentioned a lot of the co-hosts here, but take us behind the scenes of your show itself, because I love the tech side of things. I love seeing how I can improve my own show. So I'm picking your brain / tell me all of your secrets. But what is like a 24-hour before you start doing a typical distance nerding episode? What's the research like? What's your rundown? Like, how do you build up? How do you promote? give me the A to Z of everything here.
Yeah. It starts off with me being an evil dictator.
Okay.
And just driving every no.
Don't let him tell you that. That is not how it starts out. That is absolutely not how it starts out.
No. So the cycle that we have, I mean, for the most part, Jen and James, it used to be me and James, and then when Jen came in, she really helped us out with this and became a better writer than any of us could ever imagine that anybody could be. But between Jen and James, essentially they are aggregating news over the course of the week, and then they go and write stories and basically get everything set up. Usually on Monday to Tuesday, because our show's on Tuesday, but mainly because we want to have news that is up to the moment. Like we're even pulling stuff like right before the show starts and like, hey, we got to write something really quick, and it happens every now and then, mainly because we want to talk about the things that are as relevant as possible. We also take a lot of feedback from our community. We want to talk about the things that our community wants to talk about. I mean, literally, our tagline is "Whatever you're nerding out on, we want to talk about it." So, I mean, like it starts off with aggregating that news. Once they build our rundown, I take that and then I have to go and build visuals based on all of that. So, okay, so what needs to be on screen? What transitions do we need? What segments are we doing today? Everything like that, just to make sure that everything looks good. It's figuring out when we put sponsor plugs into each part of the show, making sure recordings are done as clean as possible. Sometimes we run into technical issues and I've got to fix all that on the fly. Just because I'm directing, producing, and co-hosting all at the same time. So I mean, it gets on that. It gets kind of difficult on that end, but once it all comes together, it pays off and it looks really good. Yeah. So.
Yeah, everything he said, except it's chaos, because anything I'm involved in is chaos. It's always chaos. I mean, it's doable chaos, but it is chaos sometimes.
Yeah.
Controlled chaos. Yes. Not quite anarchy, but almost.
Look, as long as you don't set something on fire during a stream, you're fine. It's, you have s'mores afterwards.
Only if we're talking about the IT crowd, then we might set something on fire. But, Moss did it first. So,
yeah, well, look, I worked in IT for 20 years there, and my boss used to say, if you're working late at night and you have to call me at night, something better be on fire and tell me how many marshmallows I need to bring. I'm like, okay.
Jen is our John Paul Valley. I'm just throwing that out there.
I am not. How dare you?
She is the chaos.
I am not order. John Paul Valley. I'm much more Catwoman.
Now, would that be chaotic neutral, or how does that work out?
I am chaotic good if I have to kill every single person in Sunnydale to make prom happen. Okay.
I love it. That's great here. Technology is a funny thing, especially on live streams. Like I've only done a few live streams in the past, and I was having a conversation with two guests similar to this, and I was getting messages from my boss at the time, and he was saying, "Why can't I see the live stream?" And I forgot to hit go live. So for a half hour, I was talking to these two great guests, and I guess I should do this.
I should be recording this. That might be a good idea. No, it happens. Like we have so many sometimes, when you have a tech issue, it's hard to not like feel certain things about it, but we try to keep it as light as possible. So if we're having an issue, we might go live and just have audio for a minute. And James and I just really, really give YungPhil a hard time on the technical issues, and we make it funny and kind of make it work. So we've learned to laugh at ourselves, I think, more than anything. And I think that's what's kept us going, is that we can laugh at ourselves and at each other. And we know what happens on the show. It happens on the show, and it's not, we're just being co-hosts, and we're family. So, it happens sometimes, feelings get hurt, and then we yell and scream at each other, and then it's all over, and we do it all over again the next week. So, hey, that's how families are. So
We're also all three of us. I would say naturally gifted with improv.
Mm.
And I think a lot of it is that's kind of what meshes with us all so well is because we can yes and each other and just keep it going and like not take anything take anything seriously in a way where like we actually are like arguing and fighting and everything like that. Like
N-
you yeah,
No, it's never actually arguing and fighting. If we ever actually argue and fight on the show, then I think the show will be over. So
well, I mean and that's what we've always said is the day we stop having fun is the day we stop doing the show.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so far it just every year it becomes more and more fun.
I also think when we do our live shows, oh, I'm so sorry.
No,
I was
no,
going to say,
no.
I also think when we do our live shows and we can connect, like physically connect with each other, because like I'm in Oklahoma, they're in California. And so if we can go and connect, I think that helps us too. It's like kind of, it tethers us a little bit more together.
Yeah.
So, and it's a love fest, but not, that kind of love fest. It's platonic love festing here, people.
Which is
Don't
why,
get your minds in the gutter.
which is why you have distance in the name.
Exactly.
Especially with their with our the hetero love triangle going on with their husband. So it's like it's great.
Yeah, they like my husband more than me, so it's always fun.
Chuck is my spirit animal, and I love him, and he is he is the man, and I love that guy.
Okay. Well, hey, whatever floats your geek boat, I'm all for it.
We don't kink shame here.
No.
Okay. My wife doesn't mind either, so it's okay.
That's the Three Geeks Talking After Hours special after the show. So, going live at conventions. You are either wandering the convention floor, you have a mobile unit, or you have a table at a convention itself here. I'm sure it's not much of a difference between streaming and, of course, being in front of people, but you got to have that excitement or that level, especially if you're roaming a con floor and you see one of your favorite writers or artists or actors or whatever, and you just happen to get a hold of them for like 5 or 10 minutes before their handlers push you away rudely. How does that work out for you? And do you still geek out over these experiences, whether it's the first time or the 10th time you've met said person?
I enjoy doing live shows at conventions more than anything.
Yeah.
And it's mostly because as much as I love the format of our show, Distance Nerding, we can interview anybody from anywhere. It's not anywhere close to when you do an in-person interview. And a lot of it is just because the excitement that you see when you're interviewing somebody or just how fun it is. Now, I have come to like because we've been doing this long enough, especially with like celebrities. I've come to realize that celebrities are just cool people. They're just regular people who have cool jobs,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So like a lot of times, it's we are trying to break that celebrity mold and more so, hey, let's talk about you and the things that you enjoy, and here's a work that you've done. What was that experience like? Or I really love getting into what they nerd out on. It's really fun to break that barrier and kind of get a celebrity at the level of the audience and just make them that much more relatable.
My dream always was to be the person at San Diego Comic-Con or at a comic book convention that did the panels and got to ask the questions, and distance nerding helped me unlock that achievement. And so I'm like forever grateful about that. But yeah, it is very different to ask them questions in person because it's almost like you can feed off each other's energy more than if you're doing it on, say, our interview show. And I mean, we still feed off each other, don't get me wrong, but it is a little bit different. And having an actual live audience that you can see and they can see you, and it is a little bit different. I think all of us having kind of that improv background and knowing and being in front of live audiences before, I think that's helped because I don't ever have any kind of jitters or nerves when I'm interviewing people live. And I think that lends itself to knowing, being very researched. We do a lot of research. And I think that helps. And then also not our egos don't really get in the way. So it's not about us, it's about them and how we can serve them and make their interview the best so that not only the people live, but later when we put them on our channel, they'll also be able to enjoy it as well. So
yeah, I think it's something about get that vibe in talking with someone. You kind of feel out how they are during that particular time frame as well too. It's just like, are they having a good day? Are they having a bad day? Do you only have 5 minutes with them, or can you spend like 15 or so? It's that flexibility that they can provide and you can provide with your mannerisms and with your ability to actually ask questions that usually don't get asked or are not your standard. Here's the boilerplate 5 that everyone seems to ask me, and I'm just going to roll my eyes at them.
My all-time favorite thing to do is try and find something that not very many people know about the guest, that I can bring up and they can go, like, the reaction I want is, how the hell did you know about that?
Nice.
Like, my favorite thing, because it's just, one, it shows that yes, we did a whole bunch of research, but two, it's always like those fun facts where they're just like, oh my God, yeah, I want to talk about this because it's a fun thing, like there's something gratifying about that. Example, I had a particular actress that was in the Scream franchise. I feel like a jackass right now because I'm not remembering her name right now.
how dare you?
Nev
How
Campbell?
dare you?
No, it was one of the
Oh, I know who you're talking about
yeah,
though.
the girls in the bathroom scene, right?
Lenore.
Lenora Sofo. So she plays the cheerleader in the scene when Nev Campbell goes into the bathroom and she's trying to hide and they're talking smack about her while she's in the stall. She's the cheerleader in that scene. And so we were doing the interview and I just out of nowhere I'm just like, so you got your big break on the Jon Stewart show on MTV back in the day with an uncredited appearance. And she goes, that's not even on my IMDb. How the hell did you know that? Right. And I was like, I've got my places. I've got my, I do my research. I actually found it on a trivia website.
Nice.
That said, fun fact, Lenora Shelfo first appeared on uncredited on the Jon Stewart show on MTV. And I was like, oh my God, that would be fun to bring up. And she was just like, there's no way. Cause she goes, it's uncredited. So I don't know how you would know that.
It's like Nardwar. We have to know.
Right. Right. I mean, and again, that's one of those moments that, it makes me feel like, you know what? Maybe I am good at this. I suffer from a lot of imposter syndrome.
Sure.
So, and I think a lot of people in our space suffer from that debilitating disease. I never feel like I'm as good as people say that I am. I'll get compliments and things like that, and they'll be like, "Yeah, it's amazing, thank you. I feel like I'm good at this," and then immediately go back into, "Am I? Should I be doing this? Am I good enough to do this?" Things like that. Like, again, the more friends we get in this space, the more I start believing that I'm good enough to do this. Especially when you start kind of getting into the upper levels of like the con industry and in this particular space. And people were like, "Oh man, you should be doing, you should be doing Fan Expo. You should be doing this. Hey, let me get you in touch with people." Like, you really think I'm that good? It's
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to feed Phil's ego anymore, but
character has a
he
way
is
big,
pretty good at this.
True.
yeah, my character has a way bigger ego than I do. So it's, the character that I play on the show is, YungPhil is a heightened caricature of myself. And I cosplay as Deadpool. So I 100% just become an egomaniac on the show. And then when the camera's off, I'm back to the same, Philippe Ferrey, the same guy that's, I'm trying to make sure everybody's taken care of. I'm trying to make sure that everybody is getting what they need. Again, I'm feeling like I'm not this guy that my character portrays me to be, but that character is fun. He's interesting. So that's why I do that.
We're supposed to have caricatures of ourselves on the show.
Now, Jen, you're just yourself. So I mean that's fine.
I'm just me. I don't know how to be anybody else but me. So I really honestly am myself. Now, sometimes I might over dramatize my anger or over dramatize my chaos.
Okay.
But no, I'm pretty much me. I don't know. And I've gotten to the point now where I really don't care what other people think.
Mhm.
Like, I don't want to be inappropriate. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just like, okay, I'm not your cup of tea. Cool. That's really what it is. And I don't think about how I don't know. I want to be genuine to myself. And I feel like that helps the show because I am a genuine nerd. And I'm going to give you my feelings about I have opinions about everything. So I'm going to give you one of them. Now, if you don't like it, okay, tell me you don't like it. Let's talk about it. But if you do like it, well, tell me you like it. We can talk about that too, because I'm betting you like different things than I like.
Nice. Have you interviewed anyone yourself, like any of the like Gail Simone or anyone like that from Wonder Woman or anything along that line?
So Gail Simone and I actually have a long running Instagram, Facebook, X relationship. I for a while. So I never actually have met her in person,
Okay.
but I've talked to her so much. I met George Perez.
Nice.
He used to actually tell me happy birthday and I would tell him happy birthday. We were Facebook friends, but I actually met him
George Perez
at San Diego.
parents did.
Yes, he did. George knew and Phil Jimenez knew about it. Phil Jimenez's reaction was so funny because I was like, I have to tell you something, Phil. And he was like, what? And I was like, I'm going to have a baby. And he was like, oh, sweetie, I didn't know you were a breeder. And I was like, okay, that's Phil, like 100% Phil Jimenez right there.
That is
so yeah.
Phil Jimenez.
I know, right? And so yeah, I'm like, I've met a few Marv Wolfman. I've had dinner with Marv Wolfman. So I could name drop like comic book celebrities. Jim Lee met my son and was like all about. Kevin Smith was flirting with my son when he was a baby. And every time I turned around, Kevin Smith was behind us. And I was like, dude, can you please give us a little time? Like he was like flirting with him. So like, and Erica Durant's, my son flirted with her too. I mean, he was a cute baby. Don't get me wrong. He was a great baby. But yeah, so like, and I've met Joss Whedon. I've met a lot of people. I'm not saying I haven't, Sure, yeah. I've also, hey, I'm not Anthony Stewart Head. I've kissed him. James Marsters, kissed him too. Look, I got a lot of cred. But when it comes to like interviewing, we just finished interviewing the Firefly cast. And I have to tell you, I think that probably was one of my most favorite things.
Nice.
Yeah.
I loved Firefly. And then Sean Astin, I had a huge crush on him because of Goonies. And so, I mean, I really honestly, my like interview thing, I'm just head in the clouds. I'm still head in the clouds from it. And it was a week ago. So I'm like, and I'm rewatching Firefly with my son. And so now it like hits different now. I'm like, oh, wait, I have actually interviewed these people. I've talked to them. I gave one of them my creepy baby. And so I got some like personal stories and now they're on screen and oh my gosh, this is amazing. So even though it was a while ago.
You keep bringing up the creepy baby. People on my show have no idea what this is. Please enlighten us because this is probably going to be a short clip at this point.
Okay, so my mother got me a Madame Alexander baby doll a long time ago. I'm not really into baby dolls. I've been a nerd for most of my life. So she really wanted me to be that girl. She wanted me the baby doll girl, the girly girl. So forever, I'm a disappointment to her in some way. But that doll, she gave it back to me a few years ago. And her head's kind of coming off on one side and she's got not her original clothes on. It was like one of my cousins, one of her baby dresses or whatever. And she was by me one day and when we were doing the show, when we did dance party. So I just grabbed her and started dance partying and Phil had a visceral reaction to her. He screamed and went, "What the hell is that?" So then after that, it kind of became a bit on the show. Every now and then I would just bring her on and I'd be like, she loves you, Phil. Phil, she loves you. So I took her to
Creepy baby.
Right. So she became Creepy Baby. And so I brought her to Gem State the first year I went. And we had a thing. People started liking it. She came on the show more. Well, I brought her back this year, not knowing that Sean Mayer collects creepy dolls. So he literally, before walking on stage, stopped and took a picture of her and was like, whose doll is this? I need to know. I will buy it. So after the panel, I went and I gave her to him because I was like, he loves all these creepy dolls. And she's a bit on the show. Really, I don't do anything with her. She's not, it was just kind of a funny thing. He'll love her. She'll come out at Halloween. It's amazing. The possessed demon in her wanted to go with him. So I decided that, she should go with him. Now, he is supposed to come on the show. So it was kind of a barter. But I feel like she's got a good home now. So Creepy Baby has moved on and started the next chapter of her life. And you have the exclusive because nobody has heard that story yet.
Yay. I like it. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And creepy as well too. So,
she really was creepy and she would make noises. She actually did scare my son once. We have the clip of it and we need to bring it out, but she made a noise. He moved her slightly and she made a noise and she hadn't ever done that before. And he was like, she's definitely possessed. I mean, it freaked him out. So he's real happy she's gone. He thinks that she's going to murder him in his sleep at some point. So
Still will. I mean, just not. This doesn't live there anymore, so she can get away with
right.
it.
She just has. It's a further track. She'll have to take an Uber or something now. So
everyone has one person that inspired them on their path to where they are today. Who was that for you?
Ooh, who inspired me? That is kind of a difficult question, and mainly because I kind of stumbled into this and was more like, I'm doing this because it's fun. And the reactions that I got from a lot of the people that we talked to when it started with when the interview started happening and everything like that was what drove me to want to make a better show and want to make things better. I guess down the line, or I guess if I go back a little bit further, so I do have 3 bucket list interviews. And this is kind of in line with the last question that we talked about, but also 2 of the people on this are actually people who inspired me to thrive and be a better podcaster. One of them I've interviewed. The other one has said that he will come on the show, but I never got his contact information, so I don't know how in touch with him. And the last one, that'll be a little bit difficult. But the first one, Kevin Smith, just as a podcaster and everything that he's done, he has 100% inspired me to kind of step my game up and be better. And just in the entertainment industry and pursuing the things that you enjoy and wanting to, like do projects in order to make entertainment better for everyone else. That's always been kind of like a mission statement for us and something that I've always enjoyed. Rob Paulson is the one that we've actually interviewed. And I told him that, and he was super honored, and we've been friends with him ever since. Rob Paulson was a big deal for me. Again, Talking Tunes inspired me a lot as far as an interviewer and things that I did there and looking for fun things to converse about. Rob Paulson was a big deal for me because he was the voice of my childhood, man. Like everything late 80s to the 90s, even to the early 2000s, he had a voice in almost every major cartoon. So Rob Paulson was a big deal to me. The last one is Mark Hamill. And it's just because Mark Hamill is the, nerd king of nerddom. So, I mean, like, I would love to talk to Mark Hamill, but I mean, like, those 3 people were probably like the biggest inspiration behind, be a good person, do things because it's the right thing to do, but then also how to step up our game and make ourselves better. As far as like people of more recent, Brandon Davis is a good friend of ours. He is someone who, watching his rise, inspires me a lot, as well as Joe Deckelmeyer, who is a good friend of mine now as well. So Joe is somebody who pushes us on the back end, will push us to step up our game and try and make everything better in order just to have a better product overall. And then shout outs to Frank, who is our producer on the network that we're on, because he pushes us to continue to make our product better. Keep the show authentic while making it more appealing for everyone. Yeah, I know that's kind of long-winded, but I mean, it really did make me think about like who continually inspires the show.
Wow, that's hard to follow. I mean, he took everybody, every single person. No, I mean, obviously, we want to give flowers to everybody who has helped us. But if we're talking about like people who inspired me, just like to do what I love, first, I would have to say my dad. He was always one to just be like, look, do what you love, be genuine, be who you are. And I think that really shaped who I am now. And I mean, he passed. So I kind of feel like I do that every day a little bit for him, just to kind of show him that, hey, I listened to what you said. Because trust me, I didn't listen to him a lot. And sometimes I regret it and sometimes I don't. Let's just say that. Anyway, another person, Eleanor Roosevelt. Eleanor Roosevelt had a column that she talked about stuff every single day when she was the first lady. She drove and met people. She went out there and she made her opinions known. She made her voice known. And I think she walked so that others could run that may not have had a voice. And now a lot of people do. And so I really respect her for that. And I think that I wouldn't be here if she wasn't. So, ER, love ya. And I would say, like, for comic books and stuff like that, somebody that I got to know really well and that really showed me that although everything is beautiful on paper, sometimes it takes a lot to get there. Probably George Perez. I really we talked a lot, and he would tell me a lot of things, about, like, it took a while. Like, him and Marv had a lot of stuff to do, and they were the golden boys at DC for a really long time. But it was hard there, and it took a lot to get things done. Part of their drive, and of course, Greg Popovich, I loved the San Antonio Spurs, and Greg Popovich coached them and has still to this day has the best winning percentage of any sport. So dude knew what he was talking about, and he had a system and he worked on it every day, and he put those people in his system and he worked on it. And if it didn't work, he innovated it. And so I think that's something, because we always are trying fresh things. We started the trend up. So if it's a huge topic that we really want to talk about, and we want to do the pro side and the con side and look at it from all angles, that's something that we started. And I think that's helped out a lot on our show. But if it doesn't work, we'll put something else there, because we're always innovating. And I think, to me, Greg Popovich showed that. You tailor it to who you have, but also keep the system in place. And we have a good foundation and our system is in place. And now we can tweak it and put different things together and make it work.
I'm more of a Steve Kerr guy, but I'll go with that.
Steve Kerr learned from Greg Popovich, dude. And who he played for San Antonio. Are you seriously? Are we going to have this conversation again?
No, we're not.
I have 3 more questions and then a fun one at the end. You guys can argue afterwards, please.
Okay.
Besides, I'm a Detroit Pistons fan, and I grew up with Chuck Daly and the Bad Boys, so whatever.
But Chuck Daly's not bad. See, I didn't mind all that. I'm just saying, Greg Popovich knows what's up. So
I completely agree. In this case, I just hope San Antonio wins so that New York loses and Cleveland can just go fuck themselves. So,
hey, you know what? I'm going to tell you this. I'll tell you this for free. I guarantee you James Harden's going to choke.
Oh, 100%. I just wish he would have choked sooner
right?
Foul baiting.
For the Detroit. Yeah, no, we were watching that series too. Let me tell you. Yeah.
That's 3 Geeks Talking sports afterwards. That's an after hours thing.
I don't know where we keep it all, but I mean, like, somehow we can talk sports and then go into nerd stuff. It's so weird.
Yeah,
Sports is nerd stuff.
Exactly.
It's just nerd stuff with
jerseys.
Coordination.
Right.
It's nerd stuff with jerseys.
There you go.
All right. From a professional standpoint, you're both successful show creators and people and geeks and nerds and everything along that line. So professionally, you're a success in regards to distance nerding and everything else that you guys create. Do you consider yourselves personally successful?
No, I don't
Right.
ever consider myself personally successful because, I've always been of the opinion that you need to be better than you were yesterday.
Right.
I'm not competing against anyone else. It's who was I yesterday? How can I be better than that person? Some days I'm successful, some days I'm not. But I always strive to be better than I was yesterday. So I don't know if I can ever consider myself successful in that capacity. But yeah, I don't really compare myself to others. I mean, I might say that on the show. I'll say that I'm better than James like 98% of the time. But honestly, we all bring something different to the show. So it's hard to be like, well, I'm going to one up Phil or I'm going to, now granted, we will try to do that anyway, just because that's who we are.
It pulls up the stakes
Yeah.
on the comedy. So, I mean, it's always a good
Yeah. Yeah. So I honestly, I really only think about who I was yesterday and how I can be better than that.
Yeah. I mean, I mentioned it earlier. I have massive imposter syndrome. There's not very much that we could do that would probably make me feel that we are actually successful in this. For the most part, I don't really measure, success as far as like, in a lot of the traditional terms. I guess where we are successful is that we're all having fun, we're all having a good time, that our audience enjoys what we're putting out, and that we can be a resource for people. So I guess in those terms, we're successful, mainly because that is the goal. The goal is to be a resource and be something that other people can look to and enjoy. I guess in that sense, we're successful.
The reverse of success is failure. How do you deal with your failures?
Mostly, I tend to beat myself up and go and put myself in a corner and then cry about it for a couple of and go back to it. No, I'm sorry. I'm also very sarcastic. If you guys can't tell already, as far as failure goes, it's always a lesson, right? There's no such thing as an actual failure, and it's mainly because if you fail at something, it is a learning lesson for the next time you attempt something. We didn't mention this throughout the entire show here, but I'm also a military veteran. Where I worked within the military, that was always something that we kind of strived on was, there is no such thing as failure. It is a lesson for the next opportunity, right? Obviously the only failure is if you die, but I mean, like, the whole thing is everything is a learning opportunity. Everything is a way for you to better yourself. And if we quote unquote fail at something, again, it just makes it so that we know the next time, all right, we won't do it this way, we'll do it this way. Or, hey, you know what, this didn't exactly go the way we wanted it to, but now we know what we can do next time. So always take any kind of quote unquote failure as a way for you to improve yourself.
I agree. Now I'm going to say more stuff though. So I do agree with that though. I've always thought the only time, not death, obviously death, yes, if you die and you haven't succeeded at something, it is technically a failure. But I think when you actually quit, that's when you fail. So if you learn something from the experience, whether it's successful or not, or whether it was a good experience or a negative experience, you learned something from that. So you can take that into the next experience. So I definitely agree with Phil on this, where it's if you learn something from it, then it won't happen again. Maybe you'll fail in a different way, but at least you're failing new, right? As long as you keep trying, as long as you keep going out there and doing it, you're really not failing, because this is a journey, and everything we do, we should be learning from. If we stop learning from something, then maybe we shouldn't be doing it anymore. That isn't a failure. That just means that we're no longer invested in it anymore. Because if you're not learning from it, you learn more from mistakes than you do success, or with things going extremely well. So yeah, you just got to kind of take it and learn the stuff and then put it somewhere else. And suddenly, bam, you got a mural.
The younger generation is looking at your work and they're becoming inspired to be creative in their own way. Maybe you're inspiring them to create their own live stream or new show that you've all creatively put together here, not just yourselves, but everyone on your team. How can they inspire the generation that follows them?
One of the biggest things that we always push is a rising tide raises all ships. Do not put yourself in a position where you, one, try to play the game as like, oh, well, I'm better than everyone else and I'm the only one. Like when you let ego get in front of you and you try to make it where it's, only we can be quote unquote successful, because I don't like using the word success in that way. But if you try to make it where I am the only one who can be successful, or our show or our thing or the thing that we're doing is the only one, we need to drive out competition. Like I don't believe within the podcast space that there is a such thing as competition. It's mostly, it's different opinions, and people can go and listen to different shows and get different opinions from different people based on kind of the knowledge base that different people have. The biggest advice that I give to younger generations that are doing anything is to rely on your peers and to make environments a place where everyone can thrive together, rather than trying to close things off to other people. The more community we have, the more we are close knit and bonded, the better humanity is. And I feel like, we are in a time where that's what we need more than anything, is community, and is people bonding together and trying to make things better for everyone.
Although I do agree with some of what Phil said, rising tide, whatever that is, rising tide
Raises all ships.
elevates all. Yeah, that's the one. And I believe that too. Like if someone that is successful, then you can celebrate that. We should celebrate everyone's success because we are a community. Nerds shouldn't be divided. They should be united because there are a lot of us. And if we do that, then let's take over the world. No, we're not going to take over the world. No, I honestly, I'm always happy when somebody succeeds. I'm always happy to see that light come on in their head. Like, oh, hey, I could do that too. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel hope. And I think we need that now, is hope. But I also believe, if I could give anybody any advice, no matter what they want to do with their life, unless it's going to be harming other people, because I don't believe in that, just be yourself, be genuine, be who you are. And if you don't know who you are, you need to spend time and think about that. Think about who you are and who you want to be. And once you know that, then it should all come to you pretty much the way you want. And if it's not, then maybe you should be doing something else. Not everybody finds their perfect career or job right off the bat. I'm older and I'm doing this now and I love it. Yeah, I have a lot of opinions and I'm a big nerd and I know a lot of stuff. So I feel like I'm doing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing now, but it took me a while to find that. So don't be afraid to try and fail. Be afraid to not try.
Last question is this, and I appreciate you both taking the time to do this here. It's been a blast for the entire time we've been doing this, because I've learned a lot, and I'm sure people that are listening to this will definitely learn it. If your life was a comic book, what would its title be, and what would its soundtrack be?
God.
Oh, goodness.
Title of my book would be The Amazing World of Not Wade Wilson.
Okay.
And the soundtrack, God, I'm so eclectic, man. It's really hard. The soundtrack would be something eclectic because it would have to match who I am and my personality. So it'd be like, during action scenes, it's probably going to be like metal, like I listen to a lot of metal. But then in scenes where I'm just like having fun, it's going to be some type of EDM. When I'm working or chilling or doing anything like that, I listen to salsa. I listen to so many different kinds of music. It's really hard to pick one particular soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would be that thing where it's just like the soundtrack to it would be a 90s mix of, now this is music kind of thing, but it's like, now this is Phil's head.
So I actually kind of wrote a comic book, but that's not the one I'm going to say. But I did, and Aroma Girl was the name of it. It was based on aromatherapy.
Nice.
And I haven't ever published it or anything, but there you go. A little tidbit about me. My comic book would be called Frey, the Queen of Chaos, because I'm very chaotic. Yeah, so I think that's what it would be. And it would have guest stars. So like Catherine Hahn would be on it and Aubrey Plaza, just different like random celebrities just walking in and just being themselves and being great. And that's what my comic book would be about, was just me hanging out with them and being a superhero and stuff. And the
Have a scene with you
soundtrack.
in the plaza and then just me huffing in the background, just like that's like my celebrity crush right there.
Yeah, and then Phil just, wandering around like a fanboy the whole time. And James just being like, I had to drop the kids off. I don't know what's going on here. So
Definitely be a
what
comic.
Shadu would be rolling for charisma. Like
Wow.
constantly.
While I'm just like intentionally pissing him off in the background.
Yes, exactly. That is our show in a nutshell. The soundtrack, I mean, I'm pretty eclectic as well. And depending on the day, depends on what I like. But I think the person I would like to curate my soundtrack and put it together for me would be James Gunn.
Yeah.
He is so amazing with soundtracks. I would love for him to do it. It would have to have Bob Moses and Cannons on it, because right now I love them. Just saw them last month in Dallas. So love them both. Love you guys. But yeah, it would have to be curated by James Gunn. He's the only one that I think could really like see the story and be like, I've got a song for that.
Nice. Well, I do hate to say it, Phil and Jen. That ends this particular episode of Two Geeks Talking. I want to thank you both so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. It's always fun just getting the nerd out and talk about that we enjoy. So it's not like we don't do that every Tuesday, but I mean, like, this is a different capacity and it was fun.
Well, sometimes you just need a break from the same old, and just stop by other people's shows and do the same thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's nice not
whether they want us there or not.
Exactly.
It's nice not being the one that had to write everything. You know what I mean?
Wait, I was supposed to write something?
Right?
That's what I say when he says, is the show done? Oh, wait, I was supposed to write a show?
We literally had an episode that was called No, This Is Not Scripted.
I love it. That's awesome. For those that want to support yourselves, either separately or together or anything else along that line, where can they find you? How can they support you? And how can they support Distance Nerding?
Oh, we're doing pluggables. Okay.
Of course.
We are at every social media that exists at Distance Nerding. We literally are on every social media. If a new social media comes up, we set up an account. That's just more for me to have to manage. But I mean, still, we try to be everywhere so that everybody can find us. Now, you can also find us at Distance Nerding or at distancenerding.com and kind of like catch everything that we do there. We're probably the most active on Instagram. Well, if you catch us on Instagram, we try to post daily videos on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. But Instagram is kind of like where we interact with our audience the most. So we tend to be on there the most. I have a personal social media, but I don't really do anything on that because I focus on Distance Nerding so much. It's Anonymous 415, ANONIMUS 415. Follow me on there. I guarantee you're not going to see anything but videos that are being reposted from Distance Nerding. So might as well just follow Distance Nerding.
All right. So for me, obviously, Distance Nerding everything, plug, Distance Nerding everything. Then I also have, like I said, a YouTube that I kind of neglect, but it's FrayGirl. If you want to see some of my ridiculousness, it's there. Also, Shadu, I'm on his channel a lot as well. We do something called
Journal of the Classes.
And then, but there was also the one, it's called Classified, because we classify different fandoms into, like we did Percy Jackson, which I think is probably my favorite one right now, where we take those characters and put them into Dungeons and Dragons classes, and we explain why they're there. It's kind of cool. It's a little nichey, but we have a lot of fun doing it. We did Loki as well. That one was really fun. And Doctor Who, one of the doctors, a couple of them actually. But yeah.
You guys should do Firefly next.
We should. We absolutely should. He wanted to watch it before we did it, so it's what we're doing. But yeah, so on his channel, it's called Classified and Journals of the Classes. But it's me and him, and we go head to head on who we think each one is, and then at the end we make a master's list for each one. So yeah, that's at Shadu on YouTube as well. SHDU Studios on YouTube.
Well, like I said, that ends this particular episode of Two Geeks Talking. You can, of course, find this interview and over 1,200, literally 1,200 plus others on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TGT Media, the podcast, by searching Two Geeks Talking. That's TWO Geeks Talking. Don't use the number, please. And I'm on social media as well, at Kurt Sasso, at Two Geeks Talking. And of course, as I say every week, everyone has a story to tell. It's up to me to help bring that out. Thanks for listening and watching on Two Geeks Talking.